Yes.
Ma'am, just like to hand you a bouquet to welcome.
Oh, lovely. And what is his name? Rohan? Rohan, you're brilliant. You've done such a great summary. See how he summarized my years, decades into 3 brilliant minutes. Ye which are done. Okay, I'll use this, alright? Thanks. Yes, Rohan, if you go back to the incidents which he remember, I think if we are looking at change masters, as Priyanka told me, that you are addressing issues of leadership in change or leadership which drives change, and you're looking at the unconventional ways by which leaders who were later on judged to have been making the change, then this is the beginning of a wonderful story. This came in between my life, but let me begin from where Rohan has left. The 3 incidents which he mentioned, at least 2 out of the three incidents, were actually a continuity of my life and not isolated incidents, but these are truly never, these change-making incidents are never out of context. Believe me, they're always in context of one's life. Let me go to his first one which he explained, which he shared with you, of the sword and the bit. What was that story? I was not posted in the field. I was a deputy commissioner of police in the police headquarters. I was in my early 30s, and there was a massive Akali Nirankari agitation going on in the early 80s. Massive Akali Nirankari agitation. This also came in between the Punjab terrorism days, when Punjab was totally in the grip of Khalistan movement. And so the whole issue of Khalistan began also a surface as an Akali Nirankari agitation, because the Nirankaris, as you know, read also the Guru Granth Sahib. And so they are, sometimes some of them are turbaned and some of them are not turbaned. But all of them do not follow the 5 tenets of the considered Sikhism. So they were the Sikhs as a sect felt the Nirankaris were violating the 6 tenets, and therefore they had no business to also be followers of the Guru Granth Sahib reading. So they were trying to attack the Nirankari Gurus. And the Nirankari Gurus happened to be Sikh turbaned Sikhs. And they happened to be headquartered in Delhi. So Akalis were attacking Nirankaris, and I do not know when, since you must have been small at that time, the Nirankari Baba was murdered. And the Ranjit Singh, in fact, went on to a full life term imprisonment. I saw Ranjit Singh, who was the main accused, who had killed Baba, Nirankari Baba. I'd seen Nirankari Baba in my college days. He did a full term. So that was the time when Akalis came to attack a Nirankari big Sammelan Sabha. And Nirankaris have an annual Sabha every year, which is lakhs of people from around the world. They come and have this. Now, what Sikhs did was, they got together in Gurudwara Bangla Sahib as an Akali fort in a way, and Nirankaris were holding the Sammelan at that time at India Gate lawns. Now the Nirankaris hold their Sammelan at somewhere on the outskirts of Delhi, on the outer ring road. But then they were all coming to India Gate lawns as a Sammelan. So those days India Gate lawns were used for these Sammelans. So Nirankari Sammelan was being held at India Gate lawn, and these Akalis were coming for Gurudwara Bangla Sahib. Have you seen Gurudwara Bangla Sahib, some of you? It's in the middle of, it's near the Connaught Place. Now, where did I fit in? I was not in the police, I was only posted in police headquarters, but the Akalis gave a call that they will not let the Nirankaris have a Sammelan at India Gate lawns, and that they will come and attack it and hurt it to the extent they can. And they already killed the Nirankari Guru by that time. So even Nirankaris were very agitated, and the Akalis were all angry and further revengeful, not revengeful, angrier. So they thought they had an upper hand on them. And Nirankaris are milder people. They believe in, they basically speak the language of peace. They do not speak the language of revenge at all. While some of the Akali leadership at that time, particularly the Bhindranwale, which had gone into the hands of Bhindranwale at that time, were talking the language of blood. So the police commissioner at that time, I'm talking of 1979, late 70s, what happened? So we were all drafted out to guard the whole situation. So I was a drafter, I was drafted out. So I was not DCP in New Delhi, I was not in charge of that area, but the whole area of India Gate was divided into sectors. Sector 1 from Gurdwara Bangla Sahib to Ashok Road, Sector 2 Ashok Road to Rajpath, Sector 3 Rajpath to India Gate. So we were all sectors in charge. I was put in the middle sector. Now the middle sector, third sector was the Samagam. So the attack portion was Gurdwara Bangla Sahib, where they all assembled, and now they were going to march to the Ashok Road, which was my sector. But the third sector was the Samagam. So Samagam had another deputy commissioner of police. I was in between the Samagam and the Gurdwara, and Bangla Sahib was the Akalis. Now everybody thought, and so did the senior leadership at that time, thought that if Akalis marched out from Bangla Sahib to go to India Gate, then they will be contained right there, because there was a large force of police officers surrounding them, so they will take them on. And they will not even come to me, and the Samagam will be protected. That's what they thought, but it didn't happen like that. So that was the result, that's called planning. They planned in such a way they got almost the police forces active around the Gurdwara Bangla Sahib, so that nothing happens. If something happens, they can do. But on that day, and I asked for manpower on the second, in my second sector, where I was in between the Samagam and the Gurdwara. They said, you don't need much force, because Kiran, nothing will happen. The Deputy Commissioner of Police at that time said, you are asking for force unnecessarily, you don't need much. This is a little force, you do with whatever you want to do. Here are these 20, 30 men, you can guard the around, so no problem. So I was left with nothing, and everything was around Gurdwara. So what happened was, when they broke the first cordon of Bangla Sahib, everything spilled onto mine. And I was between the Samagam. Now if I also cower down, then everything that the Samagam, that means that they are into a direct pitched battle between the Samagam people, who were lakhs of people, and the Ankalis, which were full of swords. Since I was in between, and I had realized that I have very little police force, that's the portion of change leadership I'm now coming to explain to you in context. What did I do? I had a sixth sense telling me that it might fail. The first sector might fail and get overrun completely. That means all these thousands of people with swords will keep running into my... But what do I do with these just 20, 30 men? And I had all these entries. You've seen India Gate roundabout? It has entry from Shahjahan Road, it has an entry from Tilak Marg, it has an entry from Coppernicus Marg, it has an entry from Ashok Road, it has an entry from Akbar Road. It has so many entries because such a big roundabout, and you have these entries, and they were in this roundabout. So I told my 30 men that, look, it is presumed that nothing is going to come here, but I presume everything might come here. So it was, first of all, was an anticipation. And direct communication with these 30 CRPF men, and they were not Delhi policemen. They were not even my team members who I was going to work with later on. They were somebody come from borrowed force, and they will go forever. I may not meet them at all. So I still told these 30 men, look, we may not have worked together before. We may not work after this. But the point is, this is our challenge now. Do we want to win or lose? So this is one day prior. So we want to win or lose. Do we want to sacrifice the situation or retrieve the situation? They said, madam, जीत के जाएंगे, मजा लेंगे कोई यहाँ से आ जाए. So I said, फिर नौजवानों, ऐसे है, गोली मारनी पड़ेगी अगर कोई आ गया. ना गोली मारनी पड़ेगी, which means कि अगर हो गया तो फिर से judicial inquiry होती. I said, अब हम आ गए हैं, या तो नौकरी नहीं करनी, तो चलो अभी चले. अगर करनी है तो याद रखना, यहाँ पिटाई होने वाली है. तो के वहाँ टूट जाना सब कुछ, और यहाँ पर पिटाई होगी, ध्यान होना. तो बोले, madam, जो आप कहोगे वो करेंगे. So that is where the communication, I explained to them, nothing happens, fine. But if something happens, then I'm not there at that moment to talk to 8 different places to say act. I can only be at one place, rather than eight entrants from India Gate. Because these people could come from any direction if they break the Bangla Gurdwara.